Do you guys think that like artists like Rihanna per se, like that's her job is masculine, like her providing and having a music career and being a strong, impactful woman? Like, do you think that's masculine? Like,
I guess
her being successful.
Like you said, your previous statement was like, do you think being home is feminine? I think it is in ways where naturally, if a woman is going to be home, she's probably going to be taking care of the household and taking care of her kids, being able to nurture her kids and her husband and things like that. So, yeah. So
is woman's only purpose to stay at home and clean the house and have children?
I don't think that's her only purpose.
We're just saying it's feminine.
Yeah. That's what
it's not bad for the women to be masculine.
I do want to touch, I think you had said something about if she's doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Or could you, this was like a few minutes ago, could you rephrase that?
Okay,
or
so
just
for
say it again?
instance, my mom is the breadwinner of my family, like, because my parents are divorced. My dad's the breadwinner of that household. My mom's the breadwinner of her household. My stepdad, when he was out of work, would do basically what that listed. Like, he would drive us to school, drive us to dance class, like, you know, clean the house, make sure it's perfect, be in a good mood when she got home because she was on her feet all day type thing. She's a celebrity hairstylist. So, I mean, my mom's badass. She's super cool, but I just think...
Did she do your hair?
Yes, she also does... Actually, I don't know if I can say.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, I mean, I think it goes both ways for sure. But I would say my mom or my stepdad being at home, like, does that take away his masculinity, like being at home and taking care of things because my mom's working?
I don't think it's necessarily wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, if you just do the calculus in a relationship and you realize, because of either my educational achievement or just because of your IQ or you're really intelligent, if you make the determination that the woman is more capable of securing resources for the family, that might be the best route to go. However, I think there is something to be said for, there's probably men have a greater biological drive to provide and to achieve.
Do you think that's based off of like how you were specifically raised?
There certainly could be a nurture component to it, but I think there's a very strong nature component to it. Like that's just through our evolution. We were the ones who, we went out, we hunted, we provisioning. So, and there's also a mating pressure on men that doesn't exist in women. Like, most men don't care about, it doesn't make women, it's not that we don't care about it. Your success, your status, your money does not make us more attracted to you. Like,
I would say that's like just specifically maybe for you. Like, I don't think you could say that as all men.
Sure. There are some, but I'm speaking in generalities here. I'd say the majority of men, most men, don't care about the money that you bring to the table or your success or your status.
But don't you find it more attractive to have a woman, you know, be like a badass?
Be a badass?
Yeah, like be like, you know, she like, wouldn't you be
like
attracted?
Like a boss ass
yeah, like
babe?
wouldn't you find a girl that like owns a business and like is super cool and like, you know, like you don't find it, is it because it's intimidating? Because it's
masculine.
It has nothing to do.
It has nothing to do with masculinity.
I'll answer. It has nothing to do with being intimidated. Also, just because you're a business owner, it doesn't make you a cool person.
No, I'm just using an example.
Yeah. So I mean, no, it doesn't.
Well, why do you think masculine men are less attracted to those strong women?
Well, I don't think it's not even necessarily about
themselves.
Masculine men, but here's one of the big things, right? There's gender roles in society, and feminists have attempted to do a good job of getting rid of some of the gender roles that ostensibly don't come at the benefit of women. However, a lot of the gender roles, like when it comes to feminism, when it comes to a lot of women, you guys want to keep the gender roles that benefit
Absolutely.
that benefit you.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm.
For example, like
yeah.
a lot of girls, even if they consider themselves to be feminist, they still want a guy to pay for the first date, even though they
Absolutely.
believe in gender equality and feminism. Do
Yeah.
you want a guy to pay for the first date?
I mean, I'm down to split, but
But
like,
would you prefer for a guy to pay for the first date?
yeah, I would. Yeah. I
Do you
would
think it'd be
I'm
more
not saying-
attractive? Would it be him taking the lead a bit? Would it be him and a bit more in his masculine?
I wouldn't call it like masculine. I would just
Okay,
be
sure.
like, oh, it's nice that someone like
Sure.
took, you know what I mean?
Now, not all, some women are
Yeah.
fine with splitting the bill, but would you agree that the majority of, either the majority or a lot of women want the guy to pay for the first date?
Absolutely.
And I've heard from a lot of women that if the guy didn't pay for the first date, there wouldn't be a second date. That's just an immediate deal breaker for a lot of women. And again, there are some women that will split the bill 50-50. There's almost no guy can reasonably or logically have the expectation that the girl is ever going to pay the bill in its entirety. There might be some guys who think maybe she's cool with splitting, but they also know there's a lot of girls that would prefer for the bill to be paid.
Right.
No guys are able to go in and say, like, with the expectation of like she's going to pay for the date. So you guys want to keep the traditional gender roles that benefit you while getting rid of all the other ones. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, because women expect men to provide, for example, paying for the first date, there's a mating pressure on us as men to make, hold on.
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $100. No, a boss babe is not more attractive to most men. If you are busy with your business, you are too busy for a man, because women do not spend their time and resources in the same way a man spends his time and resources. You need to reevaluate.
Thank you, Grid 1. There's a mating pressure on men that does not exist on women. You're not expected to like pay for first dates or to provide long-term in a relationship. There are some women that will be cool with a 50-50 relationship, and they're going to have their career, and they're going to equally contribute to the household income. However, I don't know what the split is. There's a very large portion of women who want to be stay-at-home mothers and don't want to work when they're pregnant or when they're raising kids or at any point throughout the marriage. So this creates a very strong pressure on men to achieve, and that pressure does not exist in women, because there's no guys who are like, there's maybe some guys that are like, okay, I'm really looking to be a stay-at-home dad, but most men, like, we don't have that as a fallback. Most men know, like, if we don't provide, that like scorches 80-90% of our dating prospects.
So wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have like that pressure to have
It's
like
not
an equal person?
It would be nice if there was no war, but the reality is there will always be border conflicts. There will always be war. It's just in our biology, and like we can't. I suppose yes, it would be nice, but we can't rely on the exception to the rule in this case. And generally speaking, like, yeah, most women want guys to provide and pay for the first date. So.
No, you're not. I mean, you're not wrong about that. I mean, I think a lot of women want to have that like safety net of like, oh, like if they're paying for the first date, you know, that's what they'll bring to the relationship type thing. Like,
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like if they pay for a date, they're taking initiative. They're saying that, you know,
Right.
they enjoyed the time with you. I don't know. Like,
And I just want to clear up one thing. Like, if a woman, for example, wants to like research diseases, and her like life mission is to like, she wants to try to develop medicines or therapies to cure certain diseases. I think that's wonderful. And I think if a woman that's great for you. Like, it's great for you. However, just from a dating perspective, one of the reasons men don't really care about your success or your career or your money is because of kind of what I already just talked about. Women do not share their resources with men the same way that men share their resources with women. I can't go in the next year on 20 first dates and ever have the expectation that the girl's going to pick up and pay for the entire tab. I can never have that expectation. So if you make a lot of money, I don't really benefit from it. But if you like, even a woman who's really wealthy, like she kind of like acts like a brokey when it comes to dating. Like she's not going to pay for dates. She's not going to take me on trips. She's going to, at bare minimum, she'll split, which is, look, that's cool. But that's why we don't reap any sort of tangible benefit from your success, because in a marriage or in a relationship, the man's money is your money, is our money, but your money is still your money in a relationship. So like, look, I guess some girls will like buy gifts or whatever, but first couple dates, girls aren't paying for dates, generally speaking. Sure, some do, but, and you look at like sugar daddies, sugar mamas, right?
Yeah.
There are sugar mamas, but there's a lot more sugar daddies.
Yeah.
Even when a man is being provided for fully by his woman, he's also looked down upon as like a bitch and a pussy. But when a woman's being provided for by her man, no one really says anything. Like they won't put her down
there's a
the
social
same
pressure.
way a man will be put down.
Yeah. So yeah, we just purely on the like, what if you're dating a guy who makes a lot of money, you might enjoy some of the benefits of that lifestyle. Maybe he'll take you out, pay for dinners, etc. But like women typically, when they're successful, they're not like, okay, let me start like dropping a ton of money on dudes. It's like, nah. I remember I was on a dating app a long time ago. I matched with an attorney. She was probably out earning me at the time. She's a litigation attorney making $200,000 a year. And in her bio, she said, even though I'm an attorney, even though I make good money, I still want the guy to like treat me like a princess and a queen and a lady, even though she makes $200,000 a year. It's like, well, you can pay for the date. Like, why not split,
Yeah. No, it's definitely a double standard, for sure. Word.
But, and then I think the other thing, you mentioned like a business owner, I'm a business owner. It's pretty taxing time-wise. So it's, to me, if you're super focused on your business, I'm going to feel like I'm less of a priority in the relationship.
So it doesn't go both ways?
What do you mean?
So like if you had a successful business, like wouldn't the woman feel that as well? Like women don't feel that way when they see a successful man, but you would feel that way for like a successful woman.
Well, because the burden of providing on us, I do think as men, we do need to have our priority be our career, so that we can support our girlfriend, support our wife, support our kids. I think it's interesting, like when men make a lot of money, they tend to think, awesome, I can support my wife and my kids. When women make a lot of money, they think, I'm a strong, independent woman that doesn't need a man. That's always interesting to me.
Well, I think most successful women don't do it they do it for themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I get what you're saying. I get there's a pressure for men to be like, oh, I'm working to provide, whereas women work to, feel good, I guess, or like work to feel accomplished or, be successful. But like, I don't know. I don't think it makes them less attractive, per se.
No, I don't think it makes a woman necessarily less. It's not even the money component. It doesn't make her less attractive, but it doesn't make her more attractive.
But why does like a woman's life need to be like all about the man's? Do you know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. But I think you were asking something about like, do guys like boss? I forgot the exact what originated the conversation, boss babes or boss ass bitch. But it's good for you. But take for example, I would say that a man who's a doctor, a lot of women would see the money, the status, because that's a very well-respected career, being a doctor. That would make him like more attractive from a romantic point of view. But I can't say that a woman who's a doctor, for me as a guy, that's a great career. Congratulations, I'm sure you're doing well. You must be very intelligent, but it doesn't make her more attractive. Like I'll go date. There's a 30-year-old woman who is a resident at a hospital and she's making six figures. I'll go date the 20-year-old who works at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Who's hotter.
Right. No, yeah, no,
Like-
I get what you're saying. I get it.
Like, so, I mean, it just. I will say though that like I think intelligence can be is attractive in women, because obviously I think intelligence, there's something genetic there. So like a woman who's intelligent will probably that'll impact the IQ of our children to some degree.
Yeah.
So like I'm not saying I like just total bimbos, but like
Yeah.
you're also, I would argue that regardless of your career achievement, well, okay.
Donated $99. As a doctor, I see this all the time and Brian is 100% correct.
Cam H, maybe, I don't know if you can talk about your colleagues, but do you, like, if you were to compare the female doctors versus the male doctors, like who's more likely, are the male doctors more likely to date nurses versus the female doctors are more likely to want to date other doctors or like somebody who's more on their level? Because I think it's the case that with, for example, oh, we got another one. Hold on. I'll come back to the Cam H.
Motorsports donated $100. You still don't get it. Men can work 60 hours a week and they will make time for the woman. A woman works 40 hours a week and have time for no one but themselves. We are different. Feminism is a lie and has failed. You learn from the mistake.
Feminism is a lie. Do you have a response to Grid 1 Motorsports?
Well, I just think if,
Yeah.
it's a double standard. Like
Is it?
yeah, I mean, if a guy has time to work and also be with his wife, then a woman that does the same thing also has the time for their husband too,
Yeah, going back to Cam H's thing, he says, as a doctor, I see this all the time, and Brian is 100% correct. I would say, generally speaking, like, take a male doctor, male attorney versus female doctor, female attorney. A male doctor, male attorney, he'll date like a hot barista. Does not care. Like, does not really care about her career. Whereas if you look at a woman who's an attorney, who's a doctor, she's probably going to want to date a guy who's like on her level or higher.
Yeah.
So
That's good, right? Or no? It's not.
well, that's just hypergamy. Like, men date down frequently. Men marry down, date
Why
down.
do you think they date down?
What do you mean?
Like-
Socioeconomically. Because
Do you think
we
they
don't-
date down because they can?
Yo, Doc, thank you so much for the gifted 20 memberships. Go ahead.
Do you think they date down because they don't want the competition of being with someone on their level?
I just
No,
feel like
I-
they just don't care about.
I just, again, I don't
They
think
just
it's...
don't care. You guys don't think about like stuff like that.
I don't think, like, I would say for most men, obviously, I think one of the counters to my position a little bit is, given, and I've said this before, given the like economic and financial climate, I would argue most households need two incomes. So you could make the argument that actually most men would want to find a woman who, because of the economic climate, and that you need two incomes to like hold down a household, especially if you want to have kids, that it is going to be part of the calculus when picking someone to partner with. My argument, though, is that that's never, for most men, it's never gonna, like, if we meet like a really fucking amazing girl who earns significantly less than us, that's never gonna be a deal breaker for a guy. Whereas I would argue for a lot of women, if you run into a guy who's not like at some sort of...
Oh, I see what you're saying. The standards are very different. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that does make sense. That's
Yeah.
totally valid.
But, and also typically, like, if you're making a lot of money, typically those jobs are going to be a little typically stressful. You might be working a lot, and I don't know, like, a guy probably wants a girl who's a bit more available, I'd say.
I don't know. Like, I'm from LA, so a lot of guys find it more attractive when women are.
Sorry.
Donated $99. Agreed. I have seen female subspecialist
Cam H
physicians like me
is a
who marry
woman?
male physicians in a less competitive fields, and it does often negatively affect their relationships. This is rarely the case with male doctor/female nurse, as the natural hierarchy works.
Yeah, I would imagine a male doctor is much more likely. Well, then again, there's not a lot of male nurses, so I feel like this is not the most perfect
Yeah.
thing. But I would argue that a male doctor, male attorney, a very high-achieving, high-earning man is much more likely or willing to date a woman who is like earning significantly less than him.